afternoon. You're welcome to a live section today, and I want to see as many of us that are going to turn up. It's actually a new year, and we look forward to us achieving great. Starting a class on this on smart home. Say smart home. What's the name? Gate automations, and for now, I just believe I need to talk about access.
Can you hear me now? Please comment if you can hear me. If you can hear me, comment if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Because somebody said he can't hear me. But can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Please on the chat box, let me see if it's a thumbs up to know if you hear me, if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, good. Great, okay. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So, how about the image? Can you see it? Is it the right way or is it inverse? Is it inverse? Is it the right way? Like this introduction to access control. Is it the right way over there? Is that what you can see? If it is, then we'll continue. Okay. We want to talk about access control. When you say access control, these are systems most times you use to, should I say, to have to take control of should I say access of the ability for somebody to be able to access a particular place. Most times when you're having access control, sometimes you have your biometric, which is your reader, which helps to limit the number of persons that can have access to that maybe an enclosed place. You also have where you use your keypads that has to do with you entering particular password or passcode. Okay. It's not okay. Light reflection. Let me see. Okay, I think I get the light reflections. Okay. What I would do is maybe by the time I start drawing, making my diagram, maybe it might be easier for you to understand it. But let's just discuss so that we go further. Okay, like I was saying earlier, it has to do with access control, like system you use to limit access to particular place. There are places sometimes you use it for a warehouse, you use it for an office, restricted areas. By the time you have such access control, not everyone is able to gain access, except maybe their biometric has been programmed to allow them access. Sometimes it has to be with those who have particular kind of very particular code, and some we have some face recognition. We've seen that. Even I think we did that sometimes ago with your face. When your face is programmed to the system, make you come in, camera captures your face and sees your face as one of those faces that has been granted accessibility to that place. It opens the door for you. Then also we have some that has to do with maybe eye recognition with your eye. You put your eyes, but that for now we are not going to talk about that. I want to talk about our regular access control. Immediately after this, I'm going to drop a video regarding this very topic. So now, if you have any question while we're going on along, please feel free to ask your question. I'll be happy to answer you. Just drop your question on the chat box and I'll respond accordingly. Now, for access control, what are those things that are required? Number one, you need your reader. Let me write that. Number one, a reader. Okay, you need a reader. And also number two, you need power supply, sorry. This can have a backup system. A power supply with a backup system. Also, you need your lock. Your locks. It can either be a magnetic lock, a maglock, or kind of a strike lock. Can use either a magnetic lock or a strike lock. Okay. Then also you need a push button. You need a push button. Usually a push button. Then sometimes it is important to know that while using your push button can be of any of the types, but one thing I believe you should understand, these are the major things, and there's also one I make sure I don't forget. It's a door closer. I will explain all this. Okay, I'll explain all this. Now, talking about the reader, we have different kinds of readers. For the readers, we have some that can just be they can accept your cards where you use your card. You just have get your access card, put it can read the card. Some has both the cards and they have the code where you can enter your keyboard where you can enter code to access it. And some of them have biometrics also, and you have some that can have face recognition, and you have some that has every of all these all encompassed in one device. In that reader, the reader can have both the face recognition, the biometric, the keypad, and can also use the card. So that is a particular kind of reader. Then you also have the power supply. Your power supply, it is what supplies power to the reader and also to your locks. That is what enables your lock to function and also send power to your reader. That is what this one does. And most of them, they come with backup system that has a battery in case there's power outage. For that very time, it can still retain that should I say the status of that access control working right. Then also you have the locks. For the locks, we have different kind of locks. We have the magnetic lock and we also have the strike lock. Now for the magnetic lock is done such a way that your system for this contacts you always use for your magnetic lock, they are mostly for your from your reader. They are normally close contacts, normally close, because with this one it needs power always for it to stay active. Okay, it needs power for it to stay active. Then for the strike lock they mostly operate with the normally open, because that you just immediately power comes in, triggers this, the alarm. Sorry, I said the alarm. The lock is released. Immediately is released, and most times you're always with a deadbolt. You hit it, it moves, and if it's open until you send the other command for it to close, or if it has a timer. Then for this, the push button, most times it can come in, you can use either the normally open or the normally closed, but depending on the kind of lock you're using will determine what you're going to use for your push button. And your push button, there are different types. There are the ones that you need your hard push for it to operate, and some no touch. You just take your fingers or your arm close to it, it opens. Then you have your door closer. This helps to shut the door automatically. Immediately you open your door, it helps pull the door together. If it's a scenario where you have your mag lock, so automatically immediately you open the door. Most times doors can be left ajar, but your door closer will help you push the door, jam the door back while you are not there, so that you don't just open the door and get carried away. But this door closer helps you to close that door. Okay, that's for that. Then one thing I want us to get now is how you can wire up your system, how this system can be wired. Let's go to it in full. The wiring of this system. Okay, now you must understand, like the locks, your lock one, your power supply, and your push button are always inside the building. The only system you have outside for maybe somebody trying to gain access into that that organization is just the reader. Because if you have the password for the reader, you can access it if your biometric is there. But the push button, they are always inside the building. The power supply or the backup system must be inside the building, and also your locks, either the magnetic lock or the strike lock, they are most times inside. So let's have a wiring of what this thing look like. I'm going to be using a kind of a block diagram to represent each of these items, how they are wired. Okay, let's assume this number one. This is I'll be using a maglock. Maglock, which also implies a magnetic lock. Okay, if this is a magnetic lock, then well, we need to talk about having a reader. Okay, let's make it such that we have a reader outside, and every other thing they are inside. Okay, here we have a reader. This is our reader. Okay, we need our push button. I want our push button to be inside. This is outside. Push button. Push button. This is our push button. Okay, then the other thing we need to talk about is our power supply. Power supply. Power supply with a backup system. Also, power supply. This is the power supply with a backup system. Now, so what you need to understand is the wiring of this. Now, first of all, from your power supply, you have both your positive and the negative. The negative can also be called the ground. Okay, so let's assume, no, let me do it this way. Minus, and this is the plus. I can say this one is also ground. So these are the terminals. These are the terminals. Okay, so that's for this. This is the power supply. We have the plus and the minus from our power supply. Then from our lock, you should understand your lock also have terminals for your positive and your minus, your negative to come in. So here I can say, okay, let's say you have two terminals here. This is the plus and this is the minus. Okay, is that noted? Good. So what I need to do is to try and link up this part. The first connection I will do is to take the positive. I'll allow my positive go through from this power supply to power this first. All right, so I'll take this and link this to this. Then also I need to also power my card reader. Okay, now this same cable I need to link it from either I want to take it from here to this place, or I take from here to this place. But power from here must get here. I can link it. Okay, let's say from here, linking it. Okay, the terminal for this, let me say, this is the positive of our reader. So take this. Mind you, this positive going to your reader is for you to power the system. So, and also I'll need the negative to also get to the reader for it to be fully powered. So let's say I have a negative here. This is our negative. Okay, now I'll take this. Good. It means as it stands, this is fully powered on. From what you can see here, it's fully powered on. But one thing we must understand is this reader has so many contacts. You have your normally closed, you have your normally open, you have your push buttons, you have your alarm, different terminal on your reader. When you go to the back of your reader, you see every of this. You see every of all these terminal I'm talking about. So from this, you need to look for your normally closed contact of this reader. You look for the normally closed. Anywhere you see the normally closed terminal, okay, let's assume terminal 3. These are, we have, let's say, NC as normally closed. This one is NO, normally open. We have another, let's say we have push button, they are always 2, okay. push button. Okay, all I need to do here, this terminal here for this lock, I will need to take from my reader, okay, from my normally closed, since it's a magnetic lock and I need it to be active always. It must, this must be up for this one to be closed always. If it was a strike lock, I won't use it normally open. I won't use it normally closed. I will use it normally open. So for the strike lock, it is when power is induced into a strike lock, that is where it's active, it triggers it. But for this needs power always 247 for it to be active. So it is right for me to use my normally close of this. The normally close of this. So I take the normally close of this. Watch this. Goes all the way, and I take it to this contact. Okay? Is that clear? I take it to that contact. So already I'm having power from this to this, the normally close. So one thing you should understand is, make sure your terminal here, this is to enable this, because this is bringing a negative signal to this, or I say ground signal to this, to make this one active. All right. So another thing you should be looking for is this push button. Well, where do I get it? Because your push button, you have two terminals. Sorry, there are three. Some are normally open and some are normally closed. So from your push button, because this system is what's the name? We're using a magnetic lock. So what I'll be using for my push button, I'll use my normally open for this. Normally, okay, I pick one of these, I take it to my push button. There are two terminals here. Then I take this one. There's also a common on this system. This other part of this goes, you see it on the push button, the common. You take this one to the other part. So how does this system operate? Now, I think the whole configuration is fine. By the time you enter any of you puncture any of the keys here, this normally closed contact will switch from a normally closed contact to a normally open contact. So maybe it switches, it means power supply to this magnetic lock is cut off within that time. If there's a, should I say, a correct password or the right biometric comes into this, it will change. Let me close it back. A normally closed contact, fine, is the rest state is on close. So it means there is pulse, or should I say pulse flowing through this, coming, is going because it's closed. But maybe you send signal to this reader, and there's a trigger in the relay of this reader, the relay, then it means the normally closed from here will open up and becomes closed with the normally open. Then it means this place, the supply is cut off. This magnetic lock that was attached before automatically reduces there was induction here before because of the field, the electricity that was here, the DC. So that induction field causes it to magnetize. But maybe this one is broken up when this switch, this normally close, return from it to close, from close to open. This place is broken. There is no supply here. This magnetic door releases. So automatically the door swings open. Okay, and there's a timer. You have because some of these reader, there are some you can set the timing to. You can set it so that it can only be open for a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds. Some you can set for 5 seconds. So immediately this thing is open, this door, you can have access to this place. For that time frame, let's say 5 seconds, this thing remains inactive because the inductive signal here, the coil that was active before, it is now left idle. There is no supply here. So this it de-energizes, it stops magnetizing. So for this time, you can just swing the door open. This is where your card, what's the name, the door closer comes to play. So maybe you open that door and you walk in while the door remains open, your door closes and begin to brings it back. By the time it brings it back, once this one time out, if it's a 5 seconds timing, automatically this part of this circuit, for example, this line that was broken, automatically after 5 seconds it elapses, it closes again, sends power to this magnetic clock. There's induction in that coil, magnetic field is generated, and it magnetizes your door. So this is how it operates for your magnetic lock. By the time you also push your push button, it changes this contact here. The normally close becomes open. So by the time you push this button, it will cut this off again still. But this one is inside the building, then this place is opened, and this coil this de-energizes. So there is no magnetic field as at that time. So you are able to come in through the door. So I'll also send a video of one particular kind of lock, but this is exactly how your locks, your access control lock, how it operates. So but programming this one, because we have different kinds of readers, so you need to know the particular brand you're dealing with, so you know how you program every of that. But in a nutshell, this is how this system works, how it operates. So it means if power is out, this thing de-energizes. This one, it becomes non-active any longer. There's no induction there again. It's open. So this is all I think for now, all I want us to understand. But if you think you have any question you want to ask, okay, somebody is asking a question, okay, yes, you can still see this video after now. You can see the video, yes, you can see this video after now. Okay, so from the somebody is asking a question. He said it normally close from the reader is connected to the negative of the magnetic lock, yes, to power it, right? Yes, there's already, because the positive here has gotten here. All this guy needs here, he just needs a, should I say, the ground or the negative to hit this other part for it to become active. So it is from this reader that supplies the negative signal for this to be active. So immediately this one gets here, this one energizes. It energizes. One is energizes, it means it brings the other part of the door together and it's locked. This only works for the magnetic lock. That's where you use your normally close. But if it's for the strike lock, you cannot use the normally close. You need to use your normally open. You connect this to your normally open for it to work. Because strike lock, immediately it is when power is induced that it will open up the circuit. They're almost like deadbolt. So when you release them, they go back to the lock mode. If you energize for that few seconds, it will push the lock back, like dragging it back from the lock. So just like maybe I have this hole. I have maybe like let's say this is my lock. This thing is supposed to go into this and lock. Okay, let's assume this is going inside this. Okay, this is the full length of it. This is the hole, maybe a particular. Let me just assume this is supposed to be a strike or a deadbolt. So when there's power in this magnetic field here, it will draw this one. It will draw this back, pull it back from this. For that few seconds that this is pulled out, for example, it's pulled out, so it means it's no longer in this place. It will, for example, bring it back here, and this length gets to this place. So when this the counter, when it elapses the time in here, this one pushed back. It returns from here, turns back, goes back into this. So that's how it works anyway. So for strike lock and mag lock. So this is what we need to understand about the access control. Till we meet again, I said it's important I have this class so that if there are questions we can ask. Yes, okay, you're satisfied with that, that's great. If there are questions, you can ask your questions, then I'm happy to answer. But if that's all for the now, till we meet again, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing our video. Please like, share this video, share with friends, recommend to other persons. Until we meet again in our next class, thanks for watching. Meet you in our other class. Bye for now. Yeah.